Avast, ye turncloaks and traitors, for we have returned for the post show 127. Okay, that's enough of that. We gab. We have the gift of it, some might say, on this podcast. There's quite a little bit in today's episode. House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. The Boys, Season 4 finale. Elusive Samurai, the best anime on TV right now. Quickly followed by a juxtaposition of My Hero Academia, Season 7. Grant talks about Fallout, which he just wrapped up on Amazon Prime, and then his experiences with The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Not My Friendship, the movie, and the movie Longlegs. And then we get into a discussion of horror movies in general, and he hits me with several good recommendations. There's also some fun news interspersed throughout the show. I think that's about it. Grant, hit him with the music. Hey there, Grant.
Hey, David. How are we doing?
I'm swell, my friend. I'm swell. It feels like it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging the bye week, though. I feel like it the heart grows fonder, as they say.
I agree. Also, the reflection period's a little nicer, too. Thinking about,
Yeah.
episode here, episode there, kind of doubling up. Kind of nice. Feels like we have more to kind of flesh out in a conversation. We're not like that guessing of like, all right, I guess we'll see you next week. It's like, no, we know. We can put them together and talk about it.
Also, like some shows, My Hero Academia, you kind of need a few episodes to have something to talk about,
Yeah.
We haven't talked about My Hero in a couple, so we should catch up on that. Are you caught up?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that now?
No.
Right off the top?
Not even a little bit. No.
Really?
My Hero can wait, dude. They made us wait for the plot to progress. We'll make them wait for the coverage.
Fair enough.
That's what we call a teaser in the biz. I feel like we can start with one of two things. We got to start with a heavy hitter.
Sure.
I'll let you pick, because we know My Hero ain't a heavy hitter. We got HotD Season 2, House of the Dragon Season 2, or The Boys Season 4 finale.
Ooh.
Right.
Let's get HotD out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6, there's your spoiler warning. Only 2 episodes left in the season. And also, I'll note, Grant, this kind of feels like one long episode, 5 and 6.
Yeah, they easily could have been. I guess, maybe that's a good thing to jump right in on it. But kind of like the lack of fluidity of the story now is a little... And it's not even pacing. It just, because Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, I feel like they've jumped around quite a lot. Just kind of like how this, by design, I think the story is, with the books and the kind of the POV's angle of it. They did a really cool job replicating that in the live action or in the show. Yeah. But this feels way more freaking slapped together than even they've there's been moments in kind of the shows where it's not always pitch perfect or whatever, but this just, and they're not inherently bad episodes, but it feels very paper mache,
Yeah, it's a little all over the place at times. It's funny though, because I didn't really feel that way the last time we spoke. I just feel like they're coming off of 2 peculiar weeks, 2 episodes in a row that are kind of just a little meh. Yeah. And the tide is really turning on them. Obviously there are some controversies specifically at the end of episode 6, but that thing got review bombed. You see that?
No, I didn't actually. I haven't been on the internet much.
Lucky you. You had mentioned last episode, you had talked about how you found the HotD Greens, HotD Blacks subreddit. They both of them, including the main House of the Dragon subreddit, are just bagging on this show, dude. Yeah. You know the internet though. It's it's funny because I was front and center out there leading the mob with my pitchfork on
free folk.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that bad. But I was pretty critical of season 8 of Game of Thrones, but
sure.
It feels like they stray a little bit and people are like, I can't even with this show. Are they trying to ruin it? It's Jesus, guys, easy.
It does again, I'm not trying to be Mr. Typical internet guy or whatever, but there's been moments in both these episodes, and not in specific the ending of season 6 there or episode 6, but I do feel like every time Rhaenyra is, and I really really like Rhaenyra. She's like, you know, both her and Alicent, and we spoke on this before already. How like this season is just not serving them as characters or actors, you know, at all.
They're both kind of being pushed to the side a little bit.
Yeah, and like I feel like every time I have Rhaenyra on screen, like it feels like there's no. Like she acted with such weight in the first season. Like there was just all these moments where like she really had to like, you know, like act. You know, like
yeah.
like I'm not gonna pretend like I know like what I'm talking about, but like you can feel a performance coming through, like
of course.
A great one. And she feels very much like a part of the scenery. Like every time she's on screen, it's like how, you know, and I know, you know, people would say like, oh, there's other people that have like higher billing than her, but like she's supposed to be like the top billing.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Know, like her and Alicent, and you know, and then you know Daemon is, I would think, is like a close third there. But like I don't know, it just feels wasteful. You know, like
it's tough because, and I'm not trying to give them an out here.
Sure.
But I will note, like, you look at Daemon's plot as well, right? Like, I think that one of the themes of this season is, like, you take those three main characters that we just mentioned, all of them, to different extents, are kind of stuck spinning their wheels right now, right?
Yeah,
like, Rhaenyra just can't get traction. She can't get a win at Dragonstone. Alicent has been brushed aside on the small council, and Daemon is literally like stuck on a side quest.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe, and I might be giving them too much credit here. Maybe the point is in the next 2 episodes, because there's only 2 left. They're all gonna break through and have like their big moment, and that'll be the point. Like it took them time to figure it out, and I don't know, but up to this point, they haven't done a whole hell of a lot.
No.
And I think it's like it's been trying on the audience. Daemon in particular, I noticed that people are quite irritated with this plot line. I want to go on record and say like it may be a little long in the tooth, but I have been really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's fun because I enjoyed everything up until, not that I didn't enjoy it, like whatever happened at Harrenhal this episode, but I thought they really like crescendoed his moments in episode 5.
Yeah.
With where like kind of just like the camera cutting I thought was like really impressive, and like really set up moments of suspense of like, you know, like they did a really good job of like even the audience had no idea what was real and what like wasn't.
I
like,
love that. I thought that was so cool, dude.
And like I think that's like the peak of what it's been, and then you know, you would almost think that like, oh, okay, maybe next episode, like we're gonna come past it a little bit, or maybe it acclimates or whatever. Like he's weathered the storm a bit more, or it's gonna get worse, and it just kind of feels like, oh, we're just retreading like the stuff from the previous 2.
Yeah.
So like again, like not bad. Like I do not hate this season by any means.
Same
like,
here.
I'm enjoying it every week. You know, Leanna and I look forward to it. You know, scheduled TV. You know, I love that.
I say it every Sunday night to Sam. I'm like, I'm so fucking glad this is on the air.
You know, and I don't know. It's just like, you know, like, and I see. I to your point, like I again, I understand. I see what's happening with Rhaenyra, and like, you know, the frustration is building and building and building. But it feels like how like even in the in between moments is like, can we not like get her like a snippy line of some sort, like, you know, some presence on screen? Like it's very flat, you know, and I don't think it's her. I think it's just kind of you know, but anyways, but
needs a W. She did slap that guy in this episode, the most recent. She said something cool like, I think it is my fault that you have forgotten to fear me, which was like a nice moment, but
that was a great line. Yeah.
Not particularly the huge W she needs.
No, not the weight you were looking for.
No. The Daemon stuff, definitely too long. But I was saying to you guys, like, I don't even know if this chick is real. What was her name? Alice
Rivers.
Alice Rivers. It appears she is real if you accept the last episode as truth. And my question was, and I don't know if this is fully answered or not, but my speculation is like, is she real or a witch? Is she driving him crazy? Is it a mixture between her and Harrenhal? And or does his like Targaryen lineage and the fact that he's inbred have anything to do with it? Like the way the Mad King became mad. In this most recent episode 6, Daemon's paranoia and threatening the lords of Harrenhal about how he doesn't trust them and they're trying to, you know, beguile him into stuff. I was like, oh, that's like very much shades of the Mad King. So then it made me think, okay, maybe it's like his Targaryen heritage driving him nuts. So I think there's maybe a lot of things going on.
I think, historically, in Game of Thrones and in House of Dragon, like all roads lead to insanity when it comes to Harrenhal. Again, like the stuff with Tywin and Arya, we never really got a touch of that, but like,
no, that's the most time we spent there too.
And a big thing too, like, there could be multiple layers to it. Like the Targaryens, like, burnt that place to the ground, or what's left of it is due to the dragons, right? Mm-hmm. And then also, like, there's that, that history, of Harrenhal itself, and how, like, like, what's the quote, the mortar is made of mud and blood, or whatever, like, in, making of the place. So, I don't know, it could be, like, double dipping, like, his heritage and then the place itself, the association. But it's with her, like, maybe this is, like, not really a hot take, but it's like, can we even trust that, like, what Daemon is hearing is, like, the correct thing? Like, you can't really, like, he's full on unreliable narrator. Everything that takes place there, you can't really, trust. So,
which I enjoy, though.
But that's what I mean. So, like, just because someone said her name doesn't necessarily mean that could be him, like, trying to, like, lie to himself, like, or trying to, like, stay sane or whatever. So, like, it's hard to say. Her being a witch, like the owl thing, is kind of, it was very, like, on the nose and, like, too on the nose for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So I'm almost wondering if this all is still, like, a witch, or, whether she is a witch, or if this is all just, like, the imagery of the castle itself or whatever. But either way, like, again, very long in the tooth, but I'm enjoying what I'm watching. So
yeah, same here. I
love me a spooky castle. So.
A lot has been made about episode 6, but one thing I want to make note of is, like, and I don't know, you might say this is on the nose, but I think most people find it difficult to say it was not captivating when Rhaenyra called that distant Targaryen relative, I think he was a Darkling, and he got fried by sea smoke. That was live gambling. That was like, I know where they're going with this, and oh my god, is it going to work or is it not? They veer left, they veer right. Is it yes? Is it no? And it's no. And it's violent as hell. I defy anyone to tell me, oh, I thought that was boring. I actually fast forwarded through it. That shit
People actually said that?
No. I'm just saying, like, because everybody's bagging on this episode in particular. Gotcha. That scene was awesome.
I thought, that was great. I felt really bad for the guy. It's interesting because I think, like, me, when I think about that scene, I'm thinking of the kind of the psychology of Sea Smoke in that. I was like, oh, was Sea Smoke, like, playing a fucking trick? Or, like,
or was
is
he
that
unsure,
like
maybe?
He did accept, but he got cocky at the end, or he was still unsure of himself after he was offered like the ride, or not the ride, you know what I mean, or to to ride him, or her. I'm not sure if Sea Smoke.
I don't know.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. It was very, like, probably in a while. I'm just like, oh, like, where are we going? But the thing I've seen online, a little bit of the anger is, because they have said in HotD, reference that there is such a strong link between rider and dragon.
Oh, yes.
So, like, this wouldn't even be an option for Sea Smoke, like inherently, to, like, allow another rider if Laenor is still alive.
Right.
But Sea Smoke went out and found, like, again, like the
worst breadcrumb kids of Corlys.
Yeah, the worst breadcrumb trail in this season so far is, like, the stuff with Corlys' kid, 2 sons. But anyways, so it's like, oh, like, did they, like, kill Laenor off screen potentially? Like, did he die on his adventures and, like, Sea Smoke just knows, or I don't know.
I think it's one of two things, right? Either they're breaking the rule in Game of Thrones, which, like, that's something that's only said explicitly in the books anyway, so they have license to do that. Or they did, in fact, kill him off screen, and they just don't care. Both, I think, are not great. Or
they did say it
not
in the
ideal,
show.
I guess.
In House of the Dragon, they reference the dragon and rider thing.
That oh, really?
Season. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I guess it stands. Either they're breaking their own rule, or they killed a character off screen. But it's like, I didn't really give a fuck about Laenor, but I see your point. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's kind of like, in regards to that scene, that's kind of the chatter I'm saying.
Maybe they could have put a raven in. Hey, just so you know, Laenor's fucking ship was pirated and he got slaughtered. I don't know. It would have been easy to cover their butts.
Right? There's no way. I think that's kind of how they can cover themselves, because he is supposed to have, like, already been dead, so no one in Westeros would know or care.
On the note about Sea Smoke frying that Darkling guy, My like layman, like, oh, I read the books once take was like, oh, dragons are supposed to be very intelligent and they clearly understand people. And so I was like, oh, he got cocky, and he was like, well, maybe not. And then but I think that's meant to be left open to interpretation. Let's talk about the big thing. The big thing is the kiss.
Yeah.
I will note, the moment they hugged, I started shouting incomprehensibly at the television, they're going to lesbian.
Oh my god.
And Sam was like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And then the longer that hug went...
Yeah, evidently.
You're damn right. I called it.
I saw a little sniff of the ear. I was like, oh yeah, she's going to
of course. So a lot's been made of this. So yeah. I'll pitch this to you. So one, people are angry for, I believe, and don't fucking come for me if I'm off on this a little bit. I believe, one of the many differences between the book and the show... and like at this point there are quite a few as I understand it, but I think one of the differences is that Mysaria actually has a thing going on with Daemon in the books.
Oh.
So there's that. The second...
Still? Like at this point in time?
I don't even know if the Harrenhal plot's in the book. That's the problem. I don't know if apparently they're veering off significantly, which may make sense. It may not. But at the same time, who knows, right? So maybe Harrenhal is in the book. Maybe it doesn't last as long. Maybe it's like he hooks up with her later. I have no idea. But Rhaenyra definitely does not.
Sure.
So I guess, one, that's a difference. People don't like differences. Two, it came out that it was improvised.
Oh.
And, I don't know. But that's kind of it. Like, I guess... a lot of the review bombing is like, it doesn't make sense. You're detracting from the story.
What story's going on there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes back to our earlier point of like, whatever. Like, at least she's getting, she's tapping some ass. Like, what do you want from Rhaenyra or Mysaria in this point? Like, to me, it just seems like there's not much else going on. Like, if this is detracting you so much, like, you clearly haven't been watching the same show we have been.
That's the thing. I think it's weird because it's one kiss. We don't know what the future holds for them or their relationship. And in the moment, I thought it made sense. Like, yes, it caught me off guard, for sure. But, like, I don't know. You, like, watch the scene, right? It's like Rhaenyra is, like, down and out, has no allies. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everything is turned to shit. Mysaria is her only friend, who then reveals, like, her fucked up past. They finally got a W by smuggling in food, which, by the way, that whole plot is kind of neat.
Yeah, I like that.
They're bonding, they're growing closer. I don't know. It's like, I don't think that's crazy.
Dave, I didn't blink. Like, the fact that it's a problem for people, I think it says more to each person at hand. But
yeah, so maybe maybe in the fullness of time, the relationship like proves to be a good or a bad choice, like as far as how it serves the story. But I think it's way too early to make that judgment now.
Sure. Yeah. We got season 3 for sure coming.
25,000 1-star reviews, the worst in the show's history. There hasn't been an episode that low since the final season of Game of Thrones. Lowly rated on IMDb, rather. So the mob is fickle, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As fuck.
Oh, I do want to say, on a positive note, you mentioned something that I've noticed a lot, which is like you were talking about how it seems to be mostly interiors.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I also think, to an extent, some of the cinematography is like better.
I agree. I think, you know what, though? They fixed the lighting in this season. So I wonder if maybe that was all there originally, right? Like, everything was so darkened out and blacked out where you couldn't kind of get the full extent of...
You're right about that, for sure. Like, some of these shots are all... I mean, I'm curious if they're faking natural light or if it's all real interiors or sets they built in Croatia, like, with real natural light.
I did see on... it was fun. It was... it's totally random, but I finally got the Crave app working on the TV, so I don't need to cast it with my phone anymore.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm not like usually when it's on my phone, I close it off and
one of the worst streaming apps there is. But keep going.
Yeah, to get started. But the I saw the credits for the show for the first time.
Okay.
And we watched it right to the end, and I noticed Iceland was in there, and I was like, oh, I thought this was all done in Croatia, and I was like, oh, I must have missed the Croatian thing, but there was like a lot of shots this season. I'm like, oh yeah, obviously it's Iceland. That makes sense. Like kind of like the very grayed out look, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm digging it. Like it's a nice show to look at, and the dragons look nice and real within all the scenes and all that. Like, you know, not that they were ever like atrocious or anything like that, but even the scene with like the little dragon at the Erie, I was kind of like, oh, like for like a clearly CG shot that like it kind of looks good, you know, like in kind of in light and not very dark scene. And I was like, that works.
I maintain that I don't think they were ever bad in GOT either. I think it was just different shades of good. Like sometimes you could see them struggling with like, okay, maybe they didn't optimize properly.
Sure.
But like they clearly were like figuring it out as they did it, and they took a lot of the lessons from GOT and brought them into this. And there's a shitload more dragons in this show, right? A lot more screen time. Anyway, I don't really have much else. Aegon is alive. There's a neat little scene between him and Laris.
I did enjoy that. Oh, Aegon putting Laris in his place was pretty interesting to see.
Aemond, you mean? That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Aemond in general is an interesting character. I'm very curious to see where he winds up.
I loved his line in episode 5.
What?
Right as he kind of takes control, he takes like the Prince Regent role.
Yeah.
And he has a line of like, "For God's sake, can someone cut the rat catchers down?"
Yeah, that was good.
I just thought then like an immediate cutaway. I was like, that is great comedic timing on their part. That was so intentional.
Yeah, there is something about Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, the franchise. You can probably count on one hand, or unless I'm forgetting something significant, the actual king or queen, the ruler, is often inept and like bumbling and a bit of a dipshit, surrounded by hopefully like different levels of like an effective small council.
Sure.
Aemond, for like his strengths or his weaknesses, is at the very least like decisive. Like he's like doing shit, and it is interesting to see things be done for a change.
There was a cool moment with Alicent too this episode in him where she kind of like he tells her to stick around after the council meeting. And she tries to put him in his place, and he immediately like trap cards her of like no, I'm gonna put you in your place.
Why are you here again?
Yeah, but she had a line of like in regarding. I took it as her like being fully aware of like what she did to Luke, what she did to Aegon. And like, just like, have you not grown past like this vengeance at this point? Oh, that was good.
Like, yeah, your childhood trauma, basically.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, fucking stick it to him. Come on.
He is being an angry little boy who got his hands on dynamite.
Yeah, and Warhead. More than that, but yeah.
All right, The Boys.
The Boys.
Season 4
finale.
I will say, for like outside of the episode, the finale was Erin. Is it Moriarty? There's no way that's her last name.
I think so.
Is that how you say it?
Moriarty, yeah.
Erin Moriarty, who plays Starlight, definitely her best performance as an actor on the show.
Far. I couldn't believe that. I was blown away by her.
It's funny, right? I've heard Daniel Radcliffe talk about this in the Harry Potter books. There's a sequence where every actor takes a Polyjuice potion, and they turn into Daniel Radcliffe doubles.
Yeah.
And he talks about, many actors have been through this, right? Twin scenarios, clone scenarios, and all of it is like a massive ego boosting exercise for the actor, more screen time.
Sure.
But like it's often like I find those scenes often fall quite flat. Or the dialogue isn't written in a way that's like very exciting. Like Aaron, the skin shifter, what the fuck is it?
Shapeshifter.
The shape-shifting soup who turned into Starlight was an absolute sociopath.
Yeah.
Or psychopath. And that, like, she fucking crushed that.
Yeah, man. I remember I made a note that I loved how it's easy for that type of character to slip into like almost like a Machiavellian kind of like supervillain kind of aura, and like like monologuing for the sake of monologuing. But it was so tight knit. It was very like, no, like I'm not, like it was like very quick. It's like, no, I'm not that. I am this. I am aware, and like it was like very like on task and kind of like like mocking in a way. It was,
Big time.
Know, it just, I feel like we've seen this, like you said, we've seen this exact kind of performance or situation rather, like literally hundreds of times across every medium possible. And this is one of the few times where it's just like, whoa, like,
you know, it was also
played some real mind games.
Yeah, well, that brought it to another level. Is that she explained the nature? I almost called it a quirk. She explained
That's funny.
that when she turns into somebody, she inherits their memories.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's like a whole other level of darkness. So all those, all the conflict that ensued was like very interesting. What else happens in the finale? Sage is like, that was all according to plan, and people seem divided on that.
Yeah, I did have that spoiled for me. So like, I was expecting a scene for her to like pop up and being like, you know, aha, you know, like, but it's even then, like, I think she is also like a very well written character where I'm like, is she still like, did she find a way to weasel her way back in to like fuck things up? Yeah, in her own way, you know, or is like, you know, is she really like, she is another one too? It's like, I really don't know if she is on anyone's side. Like, she's just on her side, you know, and she's gonna use and abuse anything she can. Like, she's got some cojones there, like freaking flying in the face of Homelander, which is there's very few people on screen where you've seen, like, I think Butcher, Soldier Boy, and Sage. I've been the only three that can just like look him in the eye and be like, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Yeah, like, you know.
I think what they perhaps could have handled better, which is leaving audiences a little divided, is like, I think like the exact way things unfolded were not probably part of her plan. I think what's more likely is she probably realized early on, like, she's not going to be able to completely control Homelander. No. He is going to just like do what he wants at stages, but she managed to like figure out ways to seize upon every moment of opportunity that happened, right? Every complication that came up, she's like, okay, this presents an opportunity, I'll use it. But I don't know if they did a great job kind of communicating that. Oh, also,
yeah, re-entering her wasn't as graceful as like it could have been.
Yeah, and also they had to change that. I mean, believe me, folks, don't worry, we're not going to cover American politics. You have enough to digest without a couple of Canadians giving their take on that. But they did have to change the name of the episode. Yeah, you know, that happened, and they put up a warning ahead of the finale.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was interesting. I think the biggest surprise of the whole season was Newman getting it.
Dude.
That was tight, huh?
I could not believe that. That was
a good twist.
Yeah,
I thought that was well done.
But you know what, though? Don't feel any remorse for her. She was as evil as they come.
In the moment, I briefly did, but then you think about it, you're like, well,
yeah. She has. You know, a sea of blood has come before her, you know, due to her and her quirk. But
I also think the fact it is Butcher's character is tragic, though.
Yeah.
Right, because he was ready to die and like give in just for this chance to get his son out. Not his son, you know what I mean, his adopted son.
His son.
And they just fumbled it at the 1 yard line, and like the only path forward, I mean, at least in his eyes, seemed to be one of blood. And
that scene was crazy too, because I was convinced, I was like, oh, maybe they wouldn't like double tap us again, but it was like, is Grace real? You know, was that actually him kind of like unloading on what's the kid's name? Tommy?
What do you do? Ryan?
Ryan.
His son, Ryan. Yeah.
For like a minute, the back and forth between, like, you know, Grace is there at the hospital with him. I was like, oh man, is Grace also in his imagination? Is this like a...
By Grace, do you mean the FBI lady?
Yeah.
It's Mallory. Isn't it Mallory?
Is it Grace Mallory?
Oh, it's probably Grace Mallory. My bad. In my notes, it says Mallory. That's
okay. So it's Mallory. So... But, like, you know, I was like, oh, man, is this another, like, a figment of, like, the cancer and Butcher, like, another, you know, and, like, they were playing it so, it was so back and forth, like, he would say something, then, you know, then Mallory would say something to Ryan, and I was like, and then the whole time when she starts going off, all I can think of is, like, oh, my God, is this him snapping, you know, telling Ryan about, you know, how his mother was assaulted, and that's how he was born, and da-da-da, and then, like, you know, then you find out, like, you know, Grace is, you know, or Mallory gets killed by Ryan by accident.
That was tough.
I was like... it was just like snapped out of the moment. Like, oh shit, she was actually there. I was like, I was really like not like banking on it, but I was like, shit, like that was one of the allies and all that. Like another one down.
I think she fucked it up.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, that's on her.
Butcher had him.
He did, and Patience was the name of the game. Connect 4 was going to work.
Yeah. He's never had a patient day in his life, but in that moment, he was ready to have a patient.
Right?
And someone else fucked it up.
That's hilarious. That's a great point by you.
That was the most tragic part of that scene.
That is a really good observation. Like, he's never patient.
Yeah.
And he's on his deathbed, and he's kind of made the decision to fucking go quietly for a change.
Yeah.
He calls Huey, he says, I'm sorry, and he says his goodbyes.
Yeah.
And he's probably inches away. Do you believe there's some commentary, there's some discussion on, like, it is a V'd up tumor after all. So, like, by yielding to this parasite, does it make sense that he now looks much healthier? Because when he came in and killed Newman, he looked good.
Yeah, well, there was... Because there's a scene with... I'm blanking on what the comedian's fucking... What's that guy's name? Henry Dean Morris, is that his name?
No, are you talking about the devil on his shoulder there?
Yeah,
from Walking Dead?
Yeah. Negan.
Yeah, Negan, yeah. Fuck it.
So, I was thinking of the Watchmen, so I call him the comedian. I think in the scene with the bar where he falls, and then they have a scene afterwards, and he was like, he more like alluded like, like I put you on your ass, I'm running the show here. Right. So I took that as like, like if he sides with him, then it eases up completely or whatever. And
so the tumor's like almost sentient, kind of.
I think that's what it is.
Or it's tapping into a part of his brain that is like the darkest part, maybe.
Could very well be.
Or a bit of both, but that was gross, man.
What a well-written character, Butcher. Like,
yeah, I was really curious where they're going to go with him, man. And I got to say, like, probably out of any individual storyline, I probably liked his most this season.
He is, like, one of the most inappropriate characters on TV and, like, in my history, watching anything. Like, just the stuff that comes out of his mouth, but, like...
Fucking diabolical.
But it just... It's interesting where you can... it's not like a Walter White situation. Like, it's borderline, comedic and clownish, like how over-the-top Butcher is. And, like, it's two different types of, like, the anti-hero or whatever. But it's like, you're not rooting for him, but, like, you just hear him talk, you're like... Yeah, that's my guy. Maybe it's the accent.
Sometimes you're not rooting against him either, though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, someone should stop him, but I hope they don't.
And then, like, Huey's whole speech about, like, let's be the good guys for once. Let's put in the work.
That was good.
Let's break this, this cycle. I did read something interesting online. Someone made a comment of saying, like, I do think Huey's statement is going to stand by the series end. I think, like, that was like the big pitch, like, the big picture pitch by him. Yeah. And, it wasn't, like, the immediate thing. But, again, it was a step in the right direction and all that. But, so, Hugh, too. Also, the stuff with, like, him and fucking his girlfriend there, Starlight.
Yeah.
Like, I do see there is, like, a lot of back and forth on that. Like,
yes.
It's, like... I understand, like, the whole, like, the inner, sexual politics of, like, the situation and all that, but, like, I think Hugh's had a rough couple fucking months there and all that.
He's had a very rough season, and, people are, that's a good point you bring that up, people are, like, very much championing his cause about, like, what he's been through this season, his dad died, his estranged mom showed up and then drugged his dad, who then had, like, a horrible death as a result, killing spree, and Huey had to kill him, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And then he's sexually assaulted by a off-brand Batman in a sex dungeon. You know what I mean? It's like there's a bunch of horrible, horrible shit.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, there was some. I think when I was reading like the episode or the finale thread on Reddit, people were referencing 2 lines from Gen V about Tech Knight that like it's so funny in retrospect. There's a point because he shows up in Gen V as like they're doing like an around the school documentary or like they're filming.
Yeah,
a show
I watched that. I forget a lot about it, but some of those characters show up at the end too.
Yeah, and someone made a line of like, I bet you that dude has wild parties.
Ha, that's fine.
And then I guess at some point he makes a line of like, there's no party like a Tech Night party.
That's fine.
And just everything that happened this season, I was like, thought that was funny setup without people knowing it, but
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, the heroes of the Godolkin showed up. They're at the end of the episode there, like capturing everybody.
And Kimiko speaks her first words.
Yeah.
After a big kiss too moment between her and Frenchie, long time coming.
that was, you know what, they kind of steered the ship. They've kind of fixed Frenchie's kind of
yes, I agree.
arc a little bit. You know, not like there was anything inherently wrong. It felt so like
it was a bit of a waste
too
of time.
early. Yeah. But I don't know, Kimiko and him together. That feels like it's like one of the best like relationships on TV.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like I love their chemistry and what they can do with like the sign language and like
very
even
impressive.
the texting. It even with all that, the hindrance as like a viewer, like it comes through so genuine and natural. So
that is a good point. Like that could easily be like pretty eye rolling.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they did this just to tick a representation box if it was poorly done. And I've never questioned it throughout the whole series. Like, the Kimiko thing has always worked really well, especially with Frenchie, you're right. Ashley takes V. And...
Oh, the Deep's murdering spree? Oh my god, the murder boner was so funny.
Oh my god. Bro. Starlight learns to fly and dips.
Yeah, dips out hard.
Dips out hard.
Homelander styles.
Oh, and then A-Train has had a hell of a redemption arc this season.
Yeah.
Prime ready for death in fifth season, I think.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, it's a decent bet, but nothing's guaranteed. But I wouldn't be surprised if he had like a heroic death. I have one. I bet you already know this, but I had a big light bulb moment. Not a big light bulb moment, but do you know who voiced the octopus that the Deep killed?
I did know that. Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
That's
How hilarious is that?
That's so funny.
Fuck yeah. All right, well, that's season 4. I enjoyed it. If you didn't, get Ben.
It definitely, the first 4 episodes definitely felt like it wasn't retreading. It's just like genuinely, where are we going?
Actually, no, that's a really great point. I mean, when I put that Reel/TikTok up on at Part-Time Otaku Podcast on social media, I think we were like halfway through, and I was like, I don't really know where this is going.
Yeah,
you know, some of these plot lines like don't make fucking sense.
Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't even mention Anthony Starr, Homelander. Like, I think that's all well in hand for a hopefully true climax in season 5. And obviously, did you catch the post credits?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell you in case?
No, I think I did. Now I'm just thinking real hard.
Soldier Boy.
Yes. They found Soldier Boy.
Yes, and you know what's crazy? I had that spoiled before the show aired.
Really?
Yeah. It was on The Boys subreddit, and to be fair, I was just mindlessly scrolling and tapping.
Yeah.
And the title of the post was Finale Leak, and I saw the title of the post afterwards, but it's Homelander looking down at Soldier Boy. And I was like, fuck, I hope that's not real.
Damn.
It was real.
Well, we all knew Soldier Boy was going to come at some point.
But anyway, what are you going to do? All right. Do you want to talk about the best anime currently airing, or do you want to talk about My Hero Academia? Yo, I'm on fire with these fools, dude.
On fire, man. Feisty tonight. Let's do... No, I love it. Let's do the best anime on TV right now.
Elusive Samurai.
Yeah, dude.
Is out to episode 3. This thing that you recommended.
Mm-hmm.
I
know my boy.
It's July. We're past the midway point of the year, and so it's July. But it's in contention for best anime of the year so far, for sure.
It is genuinely incredible. Can I say, I don't think I've ever in any medium seen a child's head cut off in such open display.
Dude, the way they balance tone, you can have the decapitation of a child in one scene, and 10 minutes later have silly comedy. I don't know.
Can I tell you what I legitimately thought today when I was driving around?
Hit me up. HME.
I said, this is a seinen show wearing a shonen Halloween costume.
No, that's an interesting... What's a seinen?
More to a mature audience, so Berserk or Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a genre. Okay, well, I guess that's what I'm into.
It's geared towards 16 to 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of the market, and then shonen's usually 15 and younger or whatever.
That I knew. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great... That's a good way of putting it. It's the...
It's just so open about it. There's no talking. It's just a violent world.
Life is blood.
Life is blood. You know what? It's maybe, this could be a reason why we both really like it. after this most recent episode, when they were kind of, it's funny because I didn't think of it in episodes 1 and 2, but like in the third episode where they do like kind of the groups getting to know each other a little bit, they're like kids being kids up in the mountains. I was like, oh shit, this reminds me of that episode of Mob Psycho in season 3 where like they go and they hunt for aliens.
Oh yeah, I love that episode.
And they're just like, you know, kind of like there's been all this crazy stuff and action and like, you know, it's just like a chance for kids to be kids. And then like, you know, this is like a very similar scene and there, you know, like there's stakes to it, the episode, but you're thinking back, you're like, oh wow, like they really do a job of like twisting animation styles and kind of bringing out, you know, contorting faces. Like they're blending so many different styles and animation techniques and colors. And I was like, oh, this is very Mob Psycho. Like it's in more ways than one. And
that's
big,
a great,
colorful.
dude. That's such a good one. That never struck me, but you're totally right.
Really,
it's obvious now, but I hadn't thought of it.
And I think the other thing, maybe it kind of like kickstarted that idea, is in the second episode when they're fighting the uncle, which that was crazy.
Oh my god, that was so good.
But like just like the style of like the very like that evil smile looking face, and then like there's the smoke, and in the smoke it looks like he has horns and he is a devil, and like they're not openly saying like the show is doing something very strange, and I'm not sure if it's like a subtitles issue or like a translation issue, but like I actually don't know if this world is like people are being possessed, like they are so evil, like it opens them up to be possessed by a devil,
right? Or if
demon.
it was like artistic license,
or if it's an artistic, exactly. So like it's just one of those things, because they've straight up said like the priest character is a god.
Yeah,
it's like, is that also a bait and switch? Like there's so many layers.
How literal are we being here?
Yeah. But it works.
I guess we'll see in time. No, I agree. It definitely works for me. It's the animation style, the art direction.
Yeah.
The art style, dude. There's moments where it looks like a fucking Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
It looks old in a good way. You know what I mean? Like old 90s style at times, and then not at all. Yeah. The colors, the music, I don't know. It's so good. This is up there with your Freeman rec. This is on Freeman rec.
I don't miss.
Yeah, no. Take us.
Yeah, I am genuinely looking forward to it every week. I'm just like, okay, this is like, you know, I want to see, and you know, I was behind, and I was able to watch them, you know, episodes 2 and 3 back to back. And I was like, oh, the show is gonna like
Slaps.
just sing by the end. Like,
Slaps.
You know, this should be like, they should renew this stat.
Yeah, I think it's only scheduled for 12, right?
Bummer.
I think that's the case.
But usually get some good quality that way. So
yeah, man. Hey, you know, I bitch about the scheduling all the time, and then like, but if everything looked like this, maybe I wouldn't.
I cannot get over how in the third episode they have had like full like 5-minute stretches in each episode where it's dialed to 11, and then the rest of the episode's just sitting at an 8 and a 9. You know, like it's crazy the effort that's gone into this.
This provides a good segue to My Hero Academia. We can move there, because a lot of the time, My Hero, jokes aside, but it is a good example of a show where the boring episodes pay literally for the good ones, or the good animation sequences, right?
Sure.
It's like you get like that episode with Endeavor versus All for One was like truly stunning.
That's probably my favorite episode of My Hero.
Genuinely. Yeah. It's hard for me to think of another one that's up there, but
actually,
then like
the overhaul fight I think is number 1.
Ooh, that's a great.
Like all the 8 fists kind of like I'm slamming in on him.
Yeah, from the fucking heavens.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's actually pretty, and the soundtrack slapped during that fight. But yeah, that Endeavor one, the most recent one, was really fantastic. And then you look at the episodes that like kind of bracket it, and you're like, neither of those were particularly great. And this is like an action-heavy season, but I would not say it's an animation quality strong season. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's a case of like there's genuinely just so many moving parts. Action-wise, like whether
Shidaraki's hand, even like,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do with that?
No, I know, but it doesn't look bad.
No, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like great either.
No. Like if that was like hand drawn, could you imagine?
It'd be a nightmare.
But it would be a nightmare. But all thumbs. But so, yeah, I just think because like you said, there is so much action. It all kind of blends together so much that even like the nice moment, like, you know, like the whole Dobby episode, that was like supposed to be like this big spectacle point. Both you and I are just kind of like, didn't work.
I was whelmed by it, and also
Yeah.
I think they're fucking bringing him back. Like, they confirmed he's not dead, and I know you said like he's probably not, but it's just like,
yeah.
well, can you just not? Like, the one thing you have too many of is characters. Can they not die when you kill them? Like,
I'm telling you now, if Endeavor dies, which, you know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that battle's still about to, like, hit, like, phase 3.
Uh-huh.
Which is crazy, this fucking show. Anyways, if Endeavor dies, Dobby lives.
Right.
Is my take. I bet.
Right.
Garrett, that's just, you know, that writes itself.
All right. Okay. Let's. Oh God, I'm hesitant to even say this. Well, no, I think I'm not actually. Is Bakugo dead?
Yes.
Right? What makes it? That seems legit, right?
Yeah, I think that's. Dude, they hit all the anime hallmarks on that one. That was like signed, sealed, and delivered. Like, you know, see you later.
That spoiled for me.
I did too. Day of.
Day of the manga?
No, day of the episode.
Oh, yeah. I had the manga spoiled for me about a year ago.
Oh, that's
so,
what you had spoiled for me.
That makes me think that we are getting closer to the end because, like, I've seen manga stills over the years.
Okay.
And I'm realizing that we're seeing some of these things happen now.
Oh, okay.
And so that makes me think we're getting closer to the end, but also, who knows?
That one hurt, dude. I'll be honest. I felt that one.
Yeah, that was good death.
His voice actor put in some genuinely, like, like, just the way his voice came through of, like, you know, will I ever catch up? Or, you know, can I catch up to you, Deku? And, like, it's so funny because we were just joking about it, you know, earlier in the episode about how fickle the mob is, but, like, how many years have people been just, like, lambasting, like, you know, like, the character assassination of Endeavor and, like, what he's done, you know, to, like, you know, all the free thinkers of the world, and, like, you know, like, he's done all these harmful things, and Bakugo has just been, like, you know, the lovable mean guy.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and then everyone, it's like a fucking flip of the switch. Everyone's like, fucking Endeavor, like, you got his ass. And, like, and how Bakugo is like, yeah, he never really got to, like, atone for, like, what he did to Deku. And it's like, oh my god, like, no one can win. Like, it's...
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I will say, so I think his final scene was good.
Yeah.
But I do think you grow a little numb to action when it goes on and it drags this long.
Yeah.
They've been in the coffin in the sky for a very long time.
Yeah, it's like, what, 8 episodes now?
And, you know, my first thought was like, was that real? And then you see the shot of him, and you're like, oh, fuck, I think it might have been.
Yeah. They still lied to us, that's why. That's
it's also...
Yeah, it wasn't like closed eyes.
It's
and, like,
also...
resting.
Yeah, good point. It's also difficult because the Bakugo character is, like, very much Vegeta inspired, right?
Sure.
Which is just to say that type. And I guess, like, I always assumed that his arc would have some kind of conclusion of not him necessarily surpassing Deku, but, like, maybe, like, saving him or dying for the greater good or having, like, a really big come to self-actualization moment. I don't know. And, like, he definitely grew a lot.
Yeah.
But he kind of just got fucking bodied by Tomura mostly. Like, in this scene. It was more like...
Yeah, dude. He died for Deku to go plus ultra on his ass. Like, that's all he did. Like,
yeah,
he's a currency to, like, get us to the fight, the final fight. Which,
there's a
you know...
term that people use in manga. I don't know if they use it outside of Dragon Ball.
Okay.
You can tell me if you've heard it before, but it's like Vegeta got jobbed that fight, or Vegeta's jobbing, which is like his job as a character is to get close to winning and then get his ass beat so that Goku can come in and be like, I got this. And that, but like that, to be fair, when you look at like all of Vegeta's fights, like that shit happens every saga. And then, but that's kind of what happened to Bakugo here. And I was like, is that how he goes? And it might be.
To his credit, he didn't go out like a bitch.
He did not go out like a bitch.
He fucking went swinging, which is like very on brand for the character. And the the vocal delivery when he yelled cluster, that first big hit he had, like right before. he's like out for the count for like a couple of minutes or half an episode. But I don't know. Like it is a bummer. Like he did grow on me. I know he was kind of a pain in the ass for us for a long time. But it was kind of sad to see him go. Like
Oh no, I legit sad. Like fun character, one of the big ones.
Yeah, Midoriya's gonna go fucking bananas though. Like
he better. Yeah. Like we better get some big.
This is boy.
If you kill a main character to get a reaction out of another main character, like it better be worth it, especially when the show's been on the air for a decade.
Yeah.
Right? That is part of the problem with the longer these shows go, is like it has to mean something when you finally do the thing, right?
You know what they did? You know they did the thing and didn't really give us an explanation.
What?
Bringing back Lemillion.
Yeah, that was some. That was not well. That's a good example.
I yelled at the TV, dude. I was so mad. I was frustrated. They set us up for that being like one of the most tragic things to ever happen in this.
Bro, literally 4 seasons ago. 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, like they've been like the slowest drip feed of anyone. Him and Aerie, and just like boom, we figured it out, but we're not going to tell you what, how or when, or maybe they will. I don't know, but fuck.
The more I think, and I'm not doing it intentionally, but the more you do put My Hero under a microscope, the more you realize like it isn't. It's not A+ storytelling. Like it's just not, right? You know what I mean? It's like it seems to be like one of the quote big hitters. But it's like at the bottom of the barrel, at least for the stuff that I watch. Like, there's probably shows that are as big and better or worse that I'm not aware of. Like, you're much more plugged into, long-running shows that have long-term fandom.
I think it's a symptom of, like, the Shonen Jump mega series, like, kind of system.
I totally agree with you. Like, this guy, like, I can feel this guy just being like, oh, shit, I gotta get another chapter out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If I want that money to keep rolling in, or if I ever want to make another series at any point ever, I need to like fucking do what they say and like keep making it. It is like it's a tightrope walk. Like I get that, and like it's been. It's like the worst kept secret in like that industry of like, all right, well, like people want to keep reading it. It's like, but you can only do so much, and I think that's where. Like there's like other genres within manga where they kind of have a little more freedom to like tell their, funny enough, like we were just talking about seinen versus shonen. Like seinen doesn't usually have that problem. Like there's, there's exceptions like Berserk and there's other shows and all that where like they are like it is such grand scope, but a lot of the time it's like there's a specific story that they want to be told and they're usually fucking in and out.
I really got to read Berserk, man.
Dude,
well, you have not, right?
No, but I have.
Read it together.
That would be fun because there's those deluxe versions.
We should both just buy one, like per year or some bullshit. I don't know about per year, maybe, but you know what I mean. We should buy one. We should sync our purchases.
Yeah.
And then
we'll do that.
Schedule a review episode.
That would be fun.
And read at our own pace, but as long as we make it before a deadline.
Yeah. We'll do that.
That might be a good idea.
That. I love manga.
Yeah. And I haven't gone down that rabbit hole the way you have, and that might be a really fun way to start. I've been saying that shit for years.
We should. Let's do it tonight. Let's freaking just.
I'm swamped right now, man.
but yeah. So I don't know. My Hero. It's like I'm not going to hold it against it. At least we're not like. It's kind of addicting to say. I don't feel like my time's being wasted like it has in the past.
No, that's fair. That is actually very fair.
So even though it's not perfect, I'm fazed by it. It's like whatever. Like just do your thing. Let's get through it.
I still like watching it on Saturday mornings. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, Saturday cartoon styles.
You want to talk some quick news? We got a couple things.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I mean, by far the most exciting thing for me is, and I bet maybe for you, is Severance Season 2. Got a release date. It's a little further out than I want.
Yeah.
But January 2025. I think someone said it'll be almost 3 full years from the debut of Season 1. But, COVID.
Yeah.
And also, it also broke today or yesterday? Apple has spent over $20 billion already on original content, and they're reining in costs drastically now. Severance cost Season 1, and maybe 2. Maybe 2. I actually don't know if they specified which season. But on average, Severance was costing them more to make than fucking House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. They were spending $20 million per episode on that shit.
Whoa!
And apparently,
it looked amazing though.
It is a gorgeous fucking show. But I think what is happening is somebody's doing the books at Apple and is like, hey, we're not really making our money back on this yet. In the same article that reported on their cutting back on content spending, and I'm curious on, I err on the side of believing this, that Netflix's minutes watched per day is larger than Apple's minutes watched per month for streaming.
Holy shit.
Now, Apple is nowhere near the level of catalog or subscriber count as Netflix.
It's also a pretty niche app.
Super specific. It's been on the market way less. It's less global, less subs, blah, blah, blah. So that's probably true. But after sinking in like 20 billion, you probably are hoping like that you're going to make a dent, and maybe they're not seeing the return they want.
Was a third of that for Kills of the Flower Moon, or?
I don't know. Good question, though.
Fuck. I'd like to rewatch that, actually. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah. I don't know. Wouldn't that be good to rewatch? A little home theater style. Yeah. What else is in the news, bud?
Licorice Recoil? Licorice
yeah,
Recoil
what was this?
So, it's interesting, because they had to make a statement as well, saying that this has nothing to do with season 2, which is still being worked on. But this is just a 6-episode short format with guest directors making each one. It's a slice of life day in the life of the cafe staff. So
that's
a little
cool,
fun,
I guess.
Little fun thing, like nothing, no high stakes or whatever. Honestly, could be a fun way to backdoor the plot for season 2, if I'm being completely honest.
Sure.
Because I think I saw there was someone made a comment that like one of the episodes has a director that was in or did an episode in the first season or something like that. So
yeah.
So that'll be maybe that'd be a fun way to backdoor it. But yeah, man, I am so stoked for season 2 of that. That show was awesome. Like,
agreed. We had a lot of fun.
One of our
with
favorites that year.
Yeah. Netflix news, because I'm still highly engaged in what Netflix is doing in the live space. There's like this silly Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight that everybody's bagging on that got pushed out to November. But Rogan, my least favorite stand-up comic, he's doing a live taping for his next special live on Netflix on August 3rd.
Whoa! Which
is also, I believe, Chris Rock did that already a year or two ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you don't know about this. So this, I heard about this and I just can't watch it because I heard about what happened. You know how comics do callbacks?
Sure.
Right? Like, at the beginning of the set, they say, hey, Grant, you got the stupid shirt on. And then towards the end, they go, and next time, don't put on your stupid shirt. Right? And it's like, the audience is like, oh, I get it, because you said it earlier. That's a callback. Chris Rock fucked up his own callback. So he fucked up the setup. He referenced the wrong, I think it was a movie or a show. And he closes on the joke. And he says in the taping, he goes, I already fucked this up, but blah, 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 blah. And then because the joke wouldn't have worked because he used the wrong setup at the beginning of the special. And because it's live, there's no second taping. That's just how it is.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, but it's interesting that happened live. But it just means that it is a high-stakes environment.
Sure, yeah.
So I will it'll be the first Rogan special I watch in years. But I'm just curious to see how it handles live. That Tom Brady roast did like crazy numbers for them. Mm-hmm. Captain America teaser, don't care. I do know Giancarlo Esposito is in it.
Yeah. Oh.
And people were shocked that he was in the trailer because he apparently was part of last-minute reshoots that happened like 2 weeks ago. So who knows what that means. Did you see who they brought in to replace Thunderbolt Ross?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison fucking Ford. And then they spoil who he is. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, I think that was implied, but they show it in the thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you think it's him? Does it look like him?
I don't know. No, they don't show enough for you to really know.
Okay. All right.
Jujutsu manga. Jujutsu Kaisen is actually in its final arc of the manga.
Yep.
I don't know.
I asked Leanne about that. She was like, yeah, wrap that shit up. I was like, whoa.
Wait.
Shots fired.
Yeah. This one's big. Marvel, MCU, reportedly in talks with the Russo brothers to come back and do the last 2 Avengers films. Not when I say last 2, I mean next 2. Sorry. Because their writer walked too, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah, writer for 5 walked. They obviously have a lot of... That was supposed to be the Kang movie, right?
Yep.
So who knows how that goes. But I will say, I don't think life after the MCU has been particularly kind to the Russos.
No, they made that Cherry movie with...
They got dogged on bad.
And then The Gray Man, that was them too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Also dogged.
Got dogged on bad. It was fine, but it was like a big deal that they were making these movies. And they didn't... neither of them really panned out. Like, it's tough to walk out of a movie saying... I just made the highest grossing film of all time and then make 2 duds. That's tough. But they used to say, I remember when the MCU was in its heyday, they were talking about the only thing we would ever come back for is Secret Wars. And Avengers 6 is supposed to be Secret Wars. So, I don't know.
But didn't they do Secret Wars?
That was Civil War.
Oh, no, what was the... Oh, Secret Invasion.
Yeah, which I didn't even watch, to be fair.
Dude, that sucked.
Fuck.
Dude, that was awful. Like,
is that with Samuel?
That was the straw that broke my back, actually, for MCU stuff.
I mean, if we see, I don't know if you and I can find the time. We'll talk off mic, but I would definitely watch Wolverine Deadpool, but Deadpool Wolverine. That'll be the first one I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I'm definitely going to see that. I'd like to see that with you, for sure.
Yeah, but our calendar, we'll talk.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what I mean. And then the last thing I got on my list, dude, is Emmy noms.
Ooh, Emmy. 23 outstanding. The bear.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's really fucked up about that is that it got classified as a comedy again, which I think really fucks things up. Yeah. Clearly, but here's best drama noms, and maybe it makes more sense that they did submit as drama. When you look at how stacked this is, it's The Crown, Fallout, The Gilded Age, The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, 3 Body Problem.
Shogun's got that one in the bag.
I hope so. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other categories you're super interested in? I don't want to read them all. Best comedy, I'll read. Listen to this. Abbott Elementary, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, What We Do in the Shadows, The Bear. I just don't think it fits.
No.
I just don't think it fits, my guy.
I think it's a dramedy. No, not even a dramedy. It's I think it's a drama with the comedic elements. It's just,
But you know the one I'm genuinely angry about?
What?
True Detective Night Country got like 19 nominations.
Yeah, shit.
Absurd. Absolutely makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
I never got around to that one.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I'm angry about it.
I was like, I don't know, I was kind of DOA because you were hard on it. Devin was hard on it too. I was like, whoa, shit. Like, okay.
The fan base was hard. It sucked.
Yeah.
But I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it, but whatever. I'll give you Best Actress and Actor in Drama.
Yeah, let's do it.
Actress, Jennifer Aniston, The Morning Show, Carrie Coon, The Gilded Age, Maya Erskine, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. For a second, I thought this girl was left out. I'm really glad she's not. Anna Sawai, Shogun. Imelda Staunton, The Crown. Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show.
I hope Shogun clears everything it's nominated for, honestly.
The one snub was the Gaijin didn't get nominated for Shogun, the white guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Hiroyuki Sanada did for Best Actor. So it's him, Idris Elba for Hijack, Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Walton Goggins for Fallout, Gary Oldman.
Incredible, and I actually finished Fallout this week.
Oh, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Dominic West for The Crown. So should I watch that, Fallout?
Ooh. You know what? I think
interesting reaction.
No, it is interesting because I think it's getting lots of love for non-people of like the game franchise.
Yeah.
And I think like my father-in-law watched it, and like I was talking to other people about it, like guys at work were talking about it, and I never hear guys at work fucking talking about like shit on TV.
Yeah.
Like fucking Fallout there, eh, brother? And like, okay, they're like welcome to 2024. Anyone can watch it. But I don't know, dude. Like I think it's a very good, like they did when it comes to adaptations. you know, like The Last of Us was really good, but like this was like so accurate to the weirdness of the Fallout series, like unabashedly it was just like, we're doing the games,
right?
And they pulled it off. Like you know, like I was a little, by the end of the first episode I was a little iffy of like, oh, like how much are they going to lean into this? Like, is this just like a one episode, like it's the pilot, let's you know, be weird or whatever. And dude, they were fucking Fallout weird from the beginning to the absolute end in every great, like it's, you know, it's not
it sounds similar to what you and I had to say about Last of Us, in that it was like a relatively close adaptation.
But the thing
is that fair?
I think the thing with The Last of Us is it's following a very specific story.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely trying to appeal to mass audiences and like kind of get the gaminess out of the way. Fallout is not doing that. It's like fucking it's proudly wearing the badge of honor of like, this is a game, this is the world, this is the kooky, quirky world we have. You know, humans are inherently evil. No matter what time period you're in, like people are always going to be the butt of someone else's joke. And it's just, it really kind of, you know, sails through like this, like the CG effects, like, you know, like the vertibirds and like the power suits, like it's one of the few shows where it's like, you can, there's a couple of like exterior shots where like, okay, this is clearly like a sand pit they found somewhere and like fucking overseas somewhere, and there's like reusing a bunch of like kind of areas. Like there's two separate episodes. It's clearly supposed to be two different buildings, but the interiors are identically the same, which, you know, you can make an argument like, oh, it's like that in the games too, but I don't know. They play around with time, like, you know, before the bombs went off, and you know, but it's not following like a storyline from the games. Like it's an original story.
Oh, okay.
But it's canon. Like they've said, like this is canon to the game series. Cool. Which is like very cool, you know. So, and you know, I was enjoying like the Wasteland stuff, but like they kind of go back to, like I said before, the bombs went off, and they kind of do like the inner workings of the offices, like this Vault Tech company, like, you know, the inherent evilness of them. And I was just like, dude, like I would actually like to spend more time here, you know. But they did a good job of like, because it's been renewed, obviously.
It did big business for them, right? Like it was a big one.
Apparently, it did so well. Microsoft started pushing in Bethesda, like, hey, maybe you need to move your timeline up on Fallout 5.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so okay. I don't know, like the show, I think beginning to end, it's a solid 8. You know, like it's not the most mind blowing.
But 8 is a high number.
But I think it's so consistent, and like I said, I think respect, you know, is earned because, like I said, it proudly wears the badge of like, we are Fallout. This is Fallout. And, you know, it doesn't
not dilute it.
No, not even diluting it. Like, I think, you know, I think in some things to make it a little more palatable. But I think they found the way to take like what the beauty of those games are, and the storytelling and the silliness and the brutality of it, which is, it's such a weird amalgamation on its own. They just nailed it. They just brought it to life. You know, they didn't have to change much. They didn't have to, you know, like lean into one far way to make it more accessible for anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really well pulled off. I really, really liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a little spin.
Yeah. Good characters. The chemistry. Oh, the big thing too. Everyone's like, there's the meme going around of Rey and Finn from Star Wars, and it's the two main characters from two of the main characters from Fallout. It's like, who are you? It's like, or who you should have been. But it's like a genuine. I don't know. They do a really good balancing act. And at no point I'm just like, you know, oh, this is boring. Like I was like invested in the whole time. It's really good.
That is
great
positive
Easter eggs.
To hear, then.
Great Easter eggs. And yeah, violent, very violent. Also jam packed with comedians.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think just about every non-main character they stuff into screen as like a, you know, like someone they come up across or they go to a town. Like it's almost like 9 out of 10. Like pretty famous. Like, you know, comedic actors and like some comedians and all that. Like I was kind of like, it was just like their trick, their sleep. I think, you know, because like I said, the games are inherently kind of funny and fucked up. Like it's a very dark sense of humor, and who better to like kind of relay that kind of, you know, joke or attitude than like a comedian, right?
Yeah,
so it's
good point.
Yeah, a couple good people that popped up. I was like, oh shit, hello.
Maybe I'll give her a little spin ski there, man.
I think you might like it.
Oh, but of course I can't do that until I'm done coaching Samantha through my yearly rewatch, but her first time of Band of Brothers. We're on episode 4.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's she needs to understand the horrors of war. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, dude.
It's one of the best shows of all time. You've seen it yet or no?
I have not. No.
Yeah. Well, there's still time. Don't worry. I'll put you through it at one point.
All right.
Oh God, we just took Karen Tan. We lost so many good men there. All right. Anyway, I think we can wrap it up here, right?
Can I get one quick thing in?
Fine, dude. Whatever.
I did a Nick Cage double bill last week.
Oh God.
I watched the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Leanne and I really liked it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just also like a very fun in and out like comedic action romp. Just it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I definitely thought it was going to be like borderline everything everywhere all at once, but it wasn't.
Sure. No.
This not saying like you kind of led me down that path, but like just the way people talked about it, you would swear like it was like borderline like a universe hopping movie.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right.
And I'm glad it wasn't. I really enjoyed it.
Pedro Pascal, man, it just proves he can do anything.
He can. He definitely carried. Again, I'm a big Nick Cage fan, but I definitely thought Pedro like completely stole that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Bronson, friend of the show, and I went to go see the new Longlegs movie.
Oh Christ,
dude! I have not been genuinely fucking scared in a movie theater in a long time.
That's why I don't watch those movies, dude.
You would actually you wouldn't like this one.
No, I would not. I guarantee I wouldn't.
It's you like Seven, right? Like David Fincher's Seven or Zodiac?
Yeah.
It has more in line with that than like It or like
never seen It. Won't.
Yeah, I regret seeing those.
You're like, actually, now that I think about it, I am still upset about that.
But no, I got to say, Longlegs probably one of my favorite movies of the year so far.
Really, that good?
Wow. Incredible. Bronson, it's just one of those things like we're after the movie we're talking and like the first thing we're like the sound design, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But no, genuinely the sound design was like very good usage of like nothingness and then like slowly fade in and fade out. There was a shot in this movie and I laid into bed and I was just like, please don't see that in my sleep. Just don't. I was like, I really don't want to see it. Like, just don't. Yeah. And thankfully, I haven't. But it fucking got me good.
This is very obvious in retrospect, but I guess probably part of the allure of a lot of the horror thriller movies in general is like a lot of them, to your point about sound design, are often probably like really technical and really impressive from audio engineering perspective or whatever else. If only I could sit through them. I think I saw, and this was years after it was made, I think the last horror film I saw was probably the first Paranormal Activity.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, you know what? Like, that was so good, but so frightening that I think I've had enough of this genre.
Really, eh? Just, like, completely knocked you out?
Yeah, and also as a kid, this is fair. As a kid, I saw 2 movies, probably 3, way too young.
Sure.
I saw The Exorcist, and then The Ring, and then The Grudge when they came out. And
those are big. I remember in high school.
Those were like major movies, and they were also, I think, a really big leap forward in just makeup.
Yeah.
And the imagery in those movies, I remember, just haunted me throughout my teens. Yeah. And I never really... I do get the allure. Like, I am a fucking TV and movie person, obviously. But I just never found the fun in it. Though, I don't know. Like,
but you've watched like Hereditary and Midsummer, like the Ari Aster movies?
No.
Oh, David.
No, David. No, like, absolutely not. But
really?
But those movies are not for the record. That's just out of like just laziness and not getting around to it. Like, are those horror movies? I don't even know.
I'm not trying to like sound out my own ass, but I think those kind of fall under like the cerebral horror a little bit. Like,
sure.
I
don't know anything about them.
Well, it's like they're. Oh my god! Wait, next time we're all together, you should ask Leanna about those movies. She loves those movies.
Oh really?
But
okay.
Yeah. Leanna every year our tradition we try and do like a double bill on Halloween night and watch something new and or we watch a classic. But I don't know. Like the Ari Aster movies, like they're trying to tell something more, and it's like imagery is like a big thing. It's not necessarily like slashers or anything like that, but it's it's kind of like I like those types of movies because it kind of feels. Longlegs is in a similar situation where like you feel like you're getting a full package. Like you're getting a great soundtrack, you're getting beautiful imagery, you are getting the fucking jumps, you're getting the scares, you're getting the violence. You know, you are getting the, you know, just like the tone that, you know, only a horror movie can really kind of land for you. You know? Like, they are so inherently themselves. But I don't know, man. I think Midsummer would be like the least horror-y. It's more thriller.
That was supposed to be like an artsy movie too, no?
Yeah, they're all artsy. Like the you know, Hereditary, The Witch, like you know, like
does The Witch have Daniel Radcliffe?
No, The Witch has
That's it. You have to look it up.
Furiosa there.
Oh. No,
Scream Queen. Yeah, her. But yeah, no, The Witch.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. That was the one. I think that actually I was telling Leanna that. I said the last time a movie fucking stuck with me, where I was like thinking about it, like, man, like I'm gonna have, like, I remember we finished watching The Witch, and I told Leanna, I was like, I don't think I'll ever be able to look at a goat the same way again.
Interesting. Okay.
And this is the same thing. There's like, you know, I don't think I can look at, yeah. Anyways, but
maybe Midsummer. I remember hearing about that and being intrigued.
Dave. I would hold your hand through that one, but I would go through the journey with you. Horror movies, in my experience, never solo.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hell yeah, I'm not
a
crazy person.
I also get quite scared. But
yeah, I'm just a scared little boy at the end of the day.
I enjoyed the scare.
Yeah,
it's a good heartbeat. My brother's the same way. He's like, no fucking way, dude.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were okay. I'm glad you snuck those in and for the ensuing conversation. So we'll see. We'll see on Midsummer. Maybe I can do that. We've been trying to watch more movies lately in general, so I think perhaps we can get that.
Seriously, one. Even if not with me, like if you and Sam did Midsummer, I would be surprised if you guys didn't walk away with at least something out of it.
Oh, she's worse than I am. She's a fraidy cat. We only can watch movies when they're still light out, but we'll see. I'll get back to you on that. But right. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram, parttimeotakupodcast.com, or on TikTok. Grant, go ahead, say the thing.
Bye, guys.
Bang.